In every human being, there exists a spark that survives every disappointment, every setback, every heartbreak, and every failure. It is the quiet, almost unnoticed flame that refuses to be extinguished. You felt it before, in the moments when everything seemed to be collapsing and yet some silent part of you whispered, "Keep going." That whisper is your proof that you are built for more than the chaos that has ever tried to break you. You are not defined by the trials you've walked through but by the strength you carried through them, even on the days you thought you had none. It is easy to look at others and think they were handed something you were not: opportunities, resources, natural talent, luck. But the truth is that life has always been building you in ways you didn't understand at the time. The circumstances that felt unfair were the very experiences shaping the resilience you now carry. The moments that hurt you were sharpening you. The seasons that drained you were preparing you for moments that require a deeper strength. And while you may sometimes feel behind, the truth is that your timing is not late, not off track, not wrong. Your timing is simply your own. You may not believe it yet, but you are meant to reach places you have not even imagined. The path ahead of you is not a straight line. It bends, it twists, it pauses, it challenges you. And sometimes it even seems to disappear completely. But in those moments when the path fades, it is not because your journey is over. It is because you are meant to build a new one. And building something new often requires standing in uncertainty, in silence, in the uncomfortable in-between where nothing seems to be moving. You might confuse stillness with failure, but stillness is often the greatest preparation. A seed must be buried in darkness before it grows. Clouds must gather before it rains. Muscles must experience resistance before they strengthen. Your life operates under the same laws. You are not failing because things take time. You are not stuck because progress is slow. You are not inadequate because the journey feels heavy. Growth is rarely obvious while it's happening. There is power within you that you have not yet accessed simply because you have not yet needed it. Human beings grow in direct proportion to the challenges they face. You have not even met the strongest version of yourself yet. That version appears when life demands it, when you decide you will no longer carry the old limitations you once believed about yourself. There will come a day when you look back and realize that the situations you begged to escape were the very situations that made you unstoppable. You'll realize that the people who left made room for those who truly support you. You'll realize that the opportunities you lost were only clearing the way for the ones that align with who you truly are. You'll realize that nothing was actually lost, it was being rearranged. Perspective transforms everything. Even now, you may be asking yourself if you are enough. Enough to succeed, enough to be loved, enough to build something meaningful, enough to make a difference. But the truth is, the very questions you ask reveal your depth. People who care about living with purpose wrestle with doubts. People who want to grow experience uncertainty. People who dream experience fear. Fear is not a signal to turn back, it is a signal that you are standing at the threshold of something that matters. If your dreams were small, fear would never show up. The presence of fear is proof that you are stepping into territory that your old self never dared to explore. Life has a way of stretching you beyond what you thought you could endure. But you have survived 100% of what you once thought would destroy you. Every storm you've passed through has left you wiser, stronger, and more capable. There is no weakness in feeling tired, discouraged, or unsure. Strength is not the absence of struggle, it is choosing to rise despite it. Strength is waking up on days when your heart is heavy and trying again. Strength is trusting that there is a reason to continue even before you see the results. Strength is refusing to settle for a life that does not fulfill you. You have that strength. You have proven it already, simply by being here. The world may not always see the effort you give, the nights you stay awake trying to figure things out, the moments you encourage yourself silently, the small victories you celebrate privately. But just because others don't see your progress does not mean it isn't happening. Growth is a quiet transformation. The biggest changes in your life happen inside long before they show up outside. Trust the process, even when the process feels invisible. Trust that every small step compounds. Every act of discipline adds up, every moment of persistence builds momentum. And even when you feel like you are starting over, you are not starting from zero, you are starting from experience. There are going to be seasons when nothing makes sense. Seasons where everything you planned falls apart. Seasons where doors close without explanation. Seasons where people you trusted disappoint you. Seasons where life seems unfair, unpredictable, and unkind. But these seasons do not last forever. No storm lasts forever. No winter lasts forever. You were built for cycles of growth, rest, transition, and renewal. You are not meant to bloom continuously, you are meant to bloom in your season. And when your season comes, it will feel like everything that once felt impossible begins to unfold naturally. But you must survive the seasons that come before the bloom. You must continue to water yourself even when the soil feels dry. You must continue to trust your potential even when the environment feels harsh. Sometimes the biggest breakthrough is not a leap but a shift in the way you think, in the way you speak to yourself, in the beliefs you carry. You've been conditioned by past experiences, by people who didn't see your worth, by environments that didn't nurture your potential. But you have the ability to unlearn everything that has limited you. You can rewrite your inner narrative. You can become your own source of belief. And the moment you begin to believe in yourself, even a little, life begins to open in ways you never expected. Confidence is not built in moments of success. Confidence is built in the moments you show up despite doubt. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you expand. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you grow. Every time you choose to continue, you transform. the truth is that no one becomes extraordinary by accident. People become extraordinary because they refuse to settle for a standard version of themselves. They choose to rise, to learn, to endure, to reflect, to improve. They choose the difficult path when it leads to growth. They choose to invest in themselves even when results are slow. They choose to believe in their vision even when no one else understands it. You have that same potential within you. What separates those who reach greatness from those who don't is not talent or luck, it is persistence. It is the willingness to get up after every fall. It is the courage to keep moving when progress feels invisible. It is the discipline to do the work even when motivation fades. You don't need to have it all figured out to take the next step. The next step is all you ever need. One step leads to another. Action creates clarity. Movement creates momentum. You learn by doing. You grow by trying. You succeed by failing forward. You evolve by showing up repeatedly. You do not need perfection to begin, you only need willingness. Imagine how different your life would be if you stopped waiting for the perfect moment and realized that the perfect moment is the one you choose to start. Everything you want exists on the other side of consistency. Success is simply the result of repeating small efforts long enough for them to compound into something extraordinary. You are capable of that level of consistency. You only need to trust yourself long enough to see the outcome. You will encounter people who doubt you, dismiss you, underestimate you, or criticize you. But their opinions do not define your potential. Other people's beliefs are based on their limitations, not yours. Your dreams are not meant to make sense to everyone. They are meant to make sense to you. Protect your vision. Protect your energy. Protect your belief. Surround yourself with people who see your value, who encourage your progression, who challenge you to grow, who celebrate your wins and stand by you in your losses. The right environment can transform your life. The wrong environment can shrink your potential. Choose where you place your energy with intention. There will be nights when you question everything. Nights when the weight feels too heavy. Nights when you wonder if all this effort will ever pay off. And yet, those are often the nights just before something shifts. The deeper the struggle, the closer the transformation. Pressure creates breakthroughs. Pain creates wisdom. Difficulty creates depth. You are being shaped by every experience, even the ones you don't understand yet. Do not underestimate the strength being built in silence. You deserve a life that excites you, challenges you, and fulfills you. You deserve relationships that uplift you and opportunities that expand you. You deserve to wake up with purpose and go to sleep with peace. You deserve to feel proud of yourself. You deserve to give yourself the chance to become everything you were capable of becoming. Nothing about your past disqualifies you from your future. Nothing you have faced diminishes your worth. Nothing you have lost determines what you can gain. The future is unwritten, and you hold the pen. You are allowed to grow at your own pace. You are allowed to heal on your own timeline. You are allowed to outgrow certain people and environments. You are allowed to become someone your past self wouldn't recognize. Do not apologize for evolving. Do not apologize for wanting more out of life. Do not apologize for choosing yourself. Your journey will not look like anyone else's, and that is exactly how it should be. Comparison steals your focus from your own growth. You are not behind, you are simply walking a different path. Life rewards those who stay in the game long enough to win. It rewards the ones who continue showing up when the initial excitement fades. It rewards the ones who persist through confusion, overwhelm, and uncertainty. It rewards the ones who choose discipline over distraction. It rewards the ones who take responsibility for their growth, their mindset, and their direction. You have the ability to become one of those people. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting with experience, resilience, lessons, strength, and clarity that you didn't have before. You are more prepared now than you have ever been. Your story is far from over. You are still rising, still learning, still evolving. The chapters ahead of you hold moments of joy you have not yet felt, opportunities you have not yet imagined, and strengths you have not yet discovered. Your future self is waiting for you, stronger, wiser, more confident, more fulfilled. Keep moving toward that version. Every effort you make brings you closer. Every choice you make shapes your path. Believe in your ability to create a life that reflects your deepest values and highest potential. You are capable. You are worthy. You are stronger than you think. You are becoming someone extraordinary, even on the days it doesn't feel like it. Trust your journey. The best parts of your life are still ahead. There comes a moment in every journey when something inside you quietly shifts, not in a dramatic explosion but in a subtle certainty that grows stronger with every passing day. It is the moment you realize that your strength was never something you had to search for, it was something you had to remember. You begin to understand that all along, you were capable of navigating every obstacle life placed before you. You begin to trust yourself in ways you never trusted yourself before. And that trust becomes the foundation upon which you build everything that comes next. This inner shift doesn't announce itself. It doesn't arrive with fanfare or celebration. It shows up in the small decisions, the quiet choices, the days when you wake up and try again even though no one sees the battle you're fighting. And those small decisions shape the entire direction of your life. You start to realize that the world you want to live in is one you must create, not one you must wait for. You begin to understand that your happiness is not a distant destination but something you cultivate through intentional decisions. You learn that peace does not come from avoiding challenges but from trusting your ability to overcome them. You start to see that growth is not always loud or visible. Sometimes it is soft, internal, and patient. But soft growth is still growth. Internal growth is still transformation. And patient growth is often the kind that lasts. Every time you choose to rise when you could have stayed down, you are rewriting your story. Every time you choose to forgive yourself instead of punishing yourself, you strengthen the bond you have with your own heart. Every time you choose to take a small step rather than wait for the perfect moment, you create momentum where there was none. You realize that the life you desire depends less on luck and more on consistent, courageous choices. Those choices are within your power, even on the hardest days. Especially on the hardest days. Because the hardest days are the ones that demand that you look inward and find strength you didn't know you still had. There is something profoundly powerful about refusing to give up. Not because giving up is a sign of weakness, sometimes it feels like the easier path, but because continuing is an act of defiance against every part of life that once tried to diminish you. Continuing is a declaration that you believe in the possibility of a better future even before you can see evidence of it. Continuing is bravery in its purest form. What many people forget is that bravery doesn't always look like bold gestures or massive leaps. Sometimes bravery looks like waking up and trying again. Sometimes bravery looks like choosing to trust the process even when the process is slow. Sometimes bravery looks like saying I don't know how yet, but I will figure it out. The truth is, every person who has ever succeeded has walked through uncertainty. They have walked through confusion, doubt, fear, and discomfort. They have faced moments when they questioned whether they were capable of becoming the person they dreamed of being. But they continued. And by continuing, they discovered strength, clarity, and direction along the way. Their success was not built on perfection, it was built on persistence. And that same persistence lives in you. It may be buried beneath worry, exhaustion, or fear, but it exists. It has always existed. You would not have made it this far without it. You deserve to be proud of yourself for surviving what you never thought you could survive. You deserve to acknowledge the battles you fought silently. You deserve to recognize the nights you carried yourself through. You deserve to sit with the truth that you have already become stronger than the version of yourself you once believed was the strongest. And if you continue on this path, if you continue to rise, to try, to learn, to grow, you will become even stronger than you are today. Not stronger in a rigid or hardened sense, but stronger in your clarity. Your resilience, your peace, and your belief in yourself. Your future is not determined by the moments when you felt lost, discouraged, or defeated. Your future is determined by the moments when you kept going. When you tried again. When you decided that temporary difficulty would not stop you from pursuing what you truly want. Life will always test your commitment, not to punish you but to strengthen you. When everything feels heavy, it is often because you are expanding into a new version of yourself. Growth requires energy. Transformation requires discomfort. But nothing is more rewarding than reaching a point in your journey where you look back and realize that every step, even the painful ones, carried you closer to the life you now live. There is something deeply empowering about accepting responsibility for your life, not in a burdensome way but in a freeing way. When you realize that you have influence over your decisions, your habits, your mindset, your reactions, and your direction, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for circumstances to change and start building the changes yourself. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you and start becoming your own source of strength. You stop waiting for signs and start creating them. And the moment you step into that mindset, your entire world begins to shift. You start to attract opportunities instead of chasing them. You start to identify possibilities that previously felt invisible. You start to trust your intuition, your instincts, and your own judgment. You begin to design your life instead of settling for the one you inherited. Not every day will feel inspiring. Not every moment will feel powerful. But progress is not measured by how motivated you feel, it is measured by how consistently you show up. Even small efforts count. Even slow progress counts. Even paused steps count, because pausing is still part of moving forward. What matters is that you don't give up on yourself. You have so much potential that you have not yet explored. You have talents you haven't discovered, abilities you haven't practiced, and strengths you haven't needed yet. You are constantly unfolding into deeper versions of yourself, and each version will bring you closer to the life you deserve. You are learning, growing, adapting. You are breaking old cycles and creating new ones. You are healing from wounds that once shaped your identity. You are replacing old narratives with new truths. You are becoming someone who believes in their ability to rise. And that belief will carry you further than any external validation ever could. You don't need permission to become extraordinary. You only need to choose it. Choose to show up. Choose to believe in yourself. Choose to keep moving. Choose to trust the path even when it twists in unpredictable ways. One day, you will look back and realize that the version of you reading this was already on the verge of a breakthrough. That everything you were struggling with was preparing you for the opportunities ahead. That the confusion you felt was clearing space for clarity. That the heaviness you carried was strengthening your capacity for joy. You will understand that you were never stuck, you were being prepared. And when that realization comes, you will feel grateful for your resilience, your courage, and your refusal to give up. You are worthy of everything you are working toward. You are capable of becoming everything you envision. And you are closer than you think. Keep going. The story is still unfolding, and you are becoming someone remarkable with every step you take.